Hey, Metal Maniacs, this is Tymo from Canada, and you are thrashing it up on Dave Softee's Metal Meltdown on Metal Messiah Radio.
All right, Metal Maniacs, here we go. Please help me welcome to Metal Messiah Radio, hailing from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, from Thrashers, Tymo, here to talk about the band's brand new release, The Art of a Maniac, due out February 5th, 2022. Joining us, we have founding member, vocalist, Tim Tymo. Welcome, Tim.
Hello, thank you for having me, Dave.
Thank you for this opportunity, and I want to welcome you to the Metal Meltdown. I want to also mention the rest of the band. Originally, the whole band was going to be in on this, but sometimes it's better just to talk to one person so it doesn't get too chaotic. So let me mention the rest of the band. You have Harlen Jacobs on bass and backing vocals. You have Nick Schwartz on guitars, and you have Marc Durie on drums.
Yep, that's correct.
I said it right. All right. I'm really bad with pronouncing. I'll tell you that right now. I checked out your brand new offering that's coming out, The Art of a Maniac, and I'm very impressed. It's a really nice thrash offering, and it makes me want to learn more about the band. So let's do all we can to learn more about Tymo. I checked out the band, the information on Metal Archives, and I saw the band formed in 2014. And this Art of a Maniac is already the band's third offering. You have The Lone Wolf that came out in 2015, and Purge and Reset that came out in 2017. So that being said, since 2014, this is your third release. That in itself is very impressive to me.
Oh, thank you so much. Lone Wolf, that's a weird one, because when I started out the band, I started it out myself as kind of like a solo project. I didn't know what I was doing. And then the rest of the guys joined and made it better. We turned thrash. Then we released Purge and Reset. And then we decided to call that our debut album. It's very confusing. But and then we continued on and released Art of a Maniac. But if anyone's ever interested in hearing The Lone Wolf, I can send them a copy.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit different than what you're hearing on the Art of the Maniac. Is that what you're saying?
Way different. It's like hard rock, and then it was just me on Lone Wolf. I recorded everything but the drums, and yeah, it's not the greatest.
Okay, I haven't heard it yet, so that sounds very interesting. So what I'd like to know about Art of the Maniac is, how do you get your music together, as far as how does it all come together? Who writes the words? Who writes the music? Do you do this all yourself, or does the band contribute?
Band contributes. It's full on band writing. Someone will have a riff idea, something as simple as that. Someone already have lyric ideas. We do use a program called Guitar Pro a lot. I'm sure a lot of guitar players are familiar with that program. You can write out tabs in that. You can write out your drums and piece a song together that way, and then everyone will learn it, and you can edit very easily, like change sections out. And once we have an instrumental version ready, then we'll start putting lyrics over it, and everyone kind of learns it from the Guitar Pro tab, and then we demo it, and it kind of goes from there, and it goes through the editing process. Sometimes songs write themselves, and sometimes it goes through so many edits that you're just sick of it by the end.
I can imagine, yeah. And according to the Metal Archives, this was recorded at Atrios XO Studios. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, that's good. Because sometimes Metal Archives is not always accurate, so I wanted to make sure I got the right information. And as far as the actual making of this release of Art of a Maniac, who was responsible for the production of this, as far as the mixing, the mastering, and all of the work?
Actually, the fella who owns Atrius, yeah, he did the mixing and the mastering and the engineering. That guy's not human. I don't know how he mixes like that, and how I always tried to pick his brain. I'm like, what's your technique? He kind of gives me a little information here and there, but not too much.
Well, this is an outstanding thrash offering, so whatever he did a great job for you.
I don't know what his trick is.
But it works.
Yeah, most definitely. And I really appreciate that. Thank you.
But Tim, this is self-released? You're not signed already?
No, not at the moment. The closest thing we have to a deal, we signed a deal with Spiritual Beast, and they're releasing a Japanese version with a couple bonus tracks. We put a couple of rehearsal tracks on there as the bonus tracks, and so far we're hoping that's a stepping stone. Like, maybe if we get started with that, a label will look into us. But as of right now, no, we're independent.
All right. Well, I respect that, and I hope that this works out for you and opens up new doors for you with this Japanese release. Best of luck with that.
As long as all we want to do is we want to play to the fans all over the world. We want to play in different countries and see everything, right?
Exactly.
With a label, like, we're happy.
Speaking of performing, because of this COVID situation, I'm interested to know how you've been out there dealing with this, and have you been able to do any performing? Have you? Would you like to talk about any past performances, or is there a plan for shows in support of the Art of a Maniac?
Absolutely. we were going to start with a release show here in Edmonton and maybe hit up Calgary, but Omicron hit.
Right.
Canceled plans, so we'll probably, once things ease up, we'll continue in the summer and then hopefully get over to Europe later in the year. But we managed to get a couple shows in last year, which was nice. Like we played at Loud as Hell Festival in Drumheller, Alberta. And then we opened for Striker at the Starlight Room in Edmonton. And so we got that in at least, but yeah, and then Omicron hit like right after that.
Yeah. That's, the sad part of this COVID is, as far as performing, you really can't, because people get sick and they don't allow you even to perform because everything's closed up. But one of the strong points for a band, I think, during COVID is you could come out with your best material. And maybe that's why Art of a Maniac sounds so good.
Actually, the original timeline was very rushed. Right before the pandemic hit, we entered the studio to start tracking drums.
I see.
We were going to have the album recorded by the end of March, mixed by the end of April, and then released in June. That would have been so aggressive. I think some quality would have been lost. So we took the pandemic to really take our time with the mixing and take time to listen to it, go away from it for 2 weeks and come back. And I think that helped. So if there's one good thing that's come out of this pandemic, was not to have a rushed product.
Exactly. Yeah, it worked out for you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about the cover art for the Art of a Maniac. It reminds me of Bob Ross. Is that what the focus was on, or I would say the inspiration for the cover?
Yep, absolutely.
Tell us more about that. Who actually designed it, and why was Bob Ross the inspiration?
Andrei Buzakov, he did the artwork up for us. Very awesome. Like, are you familiar with Andrei?
The name rings a bell, but I don't know really too much about him.
He does a lot of thrash metal album artwork. He's done stuff for Municipal Waste, Stormtroopers of Death, I believe Toxic Holocaust. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I'm pretty sure he did. So we hired him for it, and we had a concept in mind already. We knew we wanted to call the album The Art of a Maniac, because we already had the song The Art of a Maniac, and it kind of tied everything together. And we were sitting around brainstorming, and the word art just alone, you just think of Bob Ross. At least we did.
Yeah, it makes sense.
He's such a positive figure. Like, he's always so happy. Like, and every time he makes a mistake, it's always his happy little mistakes. They thought it'd be funny with the contrast where he's standing against a post-apocalyptic world, and he's just painting away. He looks a little Mesca. I don't know, a nuclear burn or something. It's like, happy little mistakes. The world has ended.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I agree. His voice is very soothing, and sometimes I'm an insomniac. I'll put on some of his stuff, and it puts me right to sleep.
Yeah, all stress goes away. Like him and Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, yeah. Wow.
Like, those guys just have such a... I don't know what their secret was.
They were very calm. Whatever they took worked for them.
Yeah, I want to find out what they took.
Right? And I was looking on YouTube for some official videos, official Tymo videos. I saw there was a couple of MP3 videos, if you want to call it that, like promotion for the upcoming release, but I didn't see any either lyrical or what they call official music videos. Is there a plan for Tymo to do that?
Absolutely. Eventually we'll try to do something with this album. Like, sadly COVID has been limiting us, like, from really getting out there and getting a videographer and putting something together. But on our last release, Virgin Reset, we did a music video for a track called Killer Crom, which can be found on our YouTube channel. And we also did a lyric video for Evolve From You. Yeah, with this one, we might do something for the next single coming up, depending on what happens. But most definitely, some kind of video will come out of The Art of a Maniac. I can't imagine these songs without a video.
Exactly. So please keep in touch when you do have something coming up as far as launching a video. Send me a message so I can share it with the metal maniacs out there. They'd love to see it, I'm sure.
Absolutely. We just have to make sure we do it right.
Oh, yeah. Well, with the COVID, like you said, you probably have more time to focus on it until you get ready to do some performing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Like
this is brand new music, really. I mean, seriously, for me, it's brand new. But also, you could have all this time to even make more music if you wanted to.
Yeah, and that's a shocking thing. Like during the pandemic, we were so focused on getting this one right. I think Nick has been writing a bunch of stuff. I have a bunch of riffs, but I haven't really put together a song during the pandemic. I think once this is released and promoted and settled, I'll probably start diving into another group of songs.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why we're here, to help promote this great thrash offering of the Art of a Maniac. And what we need to do is inform the fans on how they could get a copy of this or whatever other merch you may have. So where would you say would be the best place for a Tymo fan to get either the CD or other merch from the band? And I have some links, and the first one, I guess, is your official homepage, www.tymo.ca. And then you have your Bandcamp, tymoband.bandcamp.com. And then, of course, Facebook. You have facebook.com/TymoBand. I guess your official page would be, the homepage would be the best place, but Bandcamp is always good too.
Yeah, we got a store on our website, and you can access our Bandcamp through the store. We just love how Bandcamp is set up. It's just so user-friendly, so we figured why not change it. But yeah, through that, you can get to our Bandcamp, and we have CD. You can currently pre-order CDs on there. You can get it digitally. Of course, will be on Spotify and all the digital streaming platforms. And right now, we're currently looking into getting vinyls pressed for it.
That's beautiful.
Like, you gotta have vinyl.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I hope that works out for you, especially being that you're doing everything yourself right now. It's not so easy to do that. You need money for that. And hopefully this could come to fruition for you.
Sure, hoping so. Like, it'd be awesome, like, if a label or a distributor came along and was like, yeah, we'll press those for you. But as of right now, I know it's coming out of our pockets, but it's worth it. Like, we live for this stuff.
Do you have any other forms of merch that we can inform the listeners out there that we could let them know about?
Yeah, currently on the store we have patches, we have T-shirts, we have some new T-shirts coming, and of course new patches to tie in with the album.
Very nice.
Keychains, guitar picks, and we'll be updating that store with all this new stuff really soon, like probably within the next week or so. There'll be a lot of options.
Excellent. So the best place to go to see the updates would be on your official homepage at thetymo.ca.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great.
The store, and then you can access Bandcamp through there. And it'll all be on there.
All right, I'll keep my eye on that site, so this way when I notice there's more merch, I could help spread the word on that as well.
Really appreciate that. That's awesome.
That's what we do. We're here in the underground. We have to work together,
Exactly.
And what do you do outside of the band? Do you have like a regular day job?
Absolutely. I'm a piping designer by trade, but oil and gas hasn't been the greatest. Got laid off.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
It's really good. I managed to pick up a job as a forklift operator in the meantime, and that's keeping me afloat, and it seems to be somewhat funding the band too. All of us work day jobs. It's I wish I could say we were living the rock star life and our big mansions.
Yeah, but we know the reality of, especially the underground. The money in this business isn't really there. You're doing this really for the passion of what you do.
Exactly. Like I kind of accept the fact, like, I may be working a day job for the rest of my life, but as long as there's fans that want to hear this and we have a reason to go on tour every summer, every once in a while, I'm happy with that. Even if it can just get to a point where it pays for itself, I'll start with that goal. It'd be nice to make a living off of it, but.
Yeah. Speaking of goals, Tim, could you tell us some of your short-term goals, which you probably already accomplished, but your long-term goals as well? Like, where do you see the band progressing in the future? What are your dreams for the band?
Right now, I'm hoping we can get a very big following in Europe. That's kind of the first short-term goal, like get onto festivals, get on the festival circuit, and maybe try to end up going there every single year, because I feel like the crowd, there's a big thrash metal crowd over there. And then from there, yeah, just expand into other countries and play to different crowds. And we'll probably start with that and see where that goes. And then from there, yeah, I'm just hoping it just gets bigger and bigger.
Hopefully COVID will all end soon so it won't put a damper in your plans, because with COVID, all those big festivals don't go on because they don't want people to die from this thing. Even if they get the vaccine, people are getting sick from it anyway. So I hope this COVID goes away, but until it does, it's kind of holding back your dreams there.
Yeah, exactly. It's that one thing that is in the way, that one obstacle. And we just think okay, we're not getting any younger.
Yeah, what an inconvenience COVID has been as far as the live gigs.
Yeah, you have something planned, but you're like, okay, how concrete is this? I guess we'll just go until further notice. Yep, it's canceled.
Well, just by hearing your music, I became an instant fan. I could assure you'll have more of a fan base growing, because we're going to be playing your music more often. Plus, you have the interview now. So hopefully we get more word out about Tymo and things will start to blossom for you. As far as merch, that might help you to make a little bit of a living there. But until, this COVID is all settled, I wish you the best, of course. But once that is gone, then you could actually hopefully live up to your expectations of the band performing at these festivals. I wish that for you.
Oh, I really appreciate that. This bloody COVID has to go. We want to get over into New York too.
That would be great.
That would be amazing. I've never been. I've only seen it in the movies and everything. I'm just this prairie boy in the middle of Canada. And we'd like to get into the States too, and play a bunch of shows.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I wish that all works out for you. I mean, New York is pretty much have you seen it in the movies? I mean, when this COVID first started, everything was shut down, and the city was barren. It's not barren now, but it's just they are not letting people see the Broadway shows now. They're shutting everything down because of COVID. This time of the year, the cold weather, this COVID grows, and I noticed when Omicron, when it first came. It hit Canada way before us.
Yep.
But it's everywhere now. But yeah, we all knew it's going to get here. But first it happened where? In South Africa. And then boom, it's everywhere. But I noticed on the map when they showed it on the news, all of Canada was in big red. It was like it has hit Canada. But people I talked to said that the COVID doesn't really affect the Canadians. I don't know how that's possible, because if it breeds in cold weather, you're always colder than we are in the States.
Yeah. It's especially in the East for some reason. Like Ontario and Quebec are getting it so bad. Like Alberta.
Sorry.
Sadly, it is what it is. I'm hoping people pull through, get vaccinated, or just stay safe. Alberta, it's hitting us too, but I think everything's more spread out. So it's not like Ontario or Toronto where everything's so packed together.
It's a sad situation. It affects everybody in the world. It's not just one region or another. It's just so sad. Yeah. But Tim, I want to thank you for spending time with us on Mental Meltdown on Mental Messiah Radio tonight. I really learned more about yourself, Tim, and the band, and we learned about your music. I'm a big fan right off the bat. Like I told you, I'm really enjoying the album. I just want to make sure before we go crank up more Tymo, is there anything that you want to bring up that we have yet to bring up that's important to you in the band?
Nothing that I can think of off the top of my hand. My advice to everyone listening, please stay safe. We'll get through this and we'll get back to mosh pits again. I got a feeling this year this stuff will be over, or at least be an endemic.
Yeah, well, do you remember when this first came out? People said, "Oh, it's going to take 3 weeks; it'll be gone."
Yeah,
maybe 3 years. It's going to take, maybe longer. We don't know.
Yeah, we're just taking it day by day. I just try to. I don't know, even if I'm lying to myself, I just try to Like, it'll be over by this time. Okay, maybe not. Over by this time. Okay, maybe not.
Well, I guess it's best to have a positive attitude about it, so just you're hoping for the day it's over, like everybody else.
Exactly. Just try to find the stuff that makes you happy, whether it's music, video games, whatever passes your time. And just, sadly, nothing any of us can do about it at the moment. Just try to focus on the things that make you happy.
This is true. And metal music makes a lot of people happy, especially aggressive metal music, right?
Exactly. I don't know what I'd do without metal. Like, it'd be weird. I'd probably be in jail or something.
It would be very sad without the metal, especially now.
Yeah. Oh, especially Exodus' new album that's been getting me through the pandemic.
Yeah, that's a killer new release. They've always been killer, but that's really good. Yeah, really enjoying that. How about the Tymo fans? Is there anything that you would like to say to them out there, the ones that are listening in right now?
We're hoping the same thing, stay safe, and we're hoping the Art of a Maniac can bring some positivity to anyone who's struggling right now. Please don't speed, but we can't stop that while driving because a lot of songs are very fast.
That's true.
I'll probably think of a bunch of things after. I'm like, oh, I should have said that. But as of right now, I'm like, no, thank you for supporting us, and we hope that you love this new album. Like we are sure that you will, but we just hope that it makes life.
I could agree with you that they're going to love it, especially if they're into thrash. If some people aren't into thrash, believe it or not, some people aren't into thrash. They're the exception, maybe, but I think most people that enjoy a great aggressive metal offering, they're going to love this metal. They're going to love Tymo and the Art of a Maniac.
I'm sure hoping so. Like, I'm hoping it can compete with their playlists. You know, when Exodus comes on or Megadeth, I'm hoping it's just not like such a jump. It's like, oh, this fits.
He definitely will.
Everyone's got a different view. Some like their symphonic metal, some like their death metal. I think death and thrash get along just great.
I agree with you. There's nothing better than death thrash. Put them together, they make a great, beautiful sound.
Yeah. Oh, it's like meat and mashed potatoes. That's probably a terrible comparison, but that's all.
Not at all. They work very well together. Unless you're a vegetarian, then you're out of luck, But Tim, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and I want you to know you'll have my continued support. So with your next release, I'd like you to come back whenever that is, a year or two, whatever it takes. As long as you're doing the band, I want you to have a home here to talk about your releases, all right?
I really appreciate that.
I'm enjoying your music, and I'm looking forward to spreading the word on this and continuing it down the road with new releases. And I want to wish you a safe 2022. Hopefully, COVID will be gone. And I want to wish you and all the band in Tymo success. Hopefully, you'll get signed to a label that suits your needs. And I wish you lots of success for all the years to come. And may you make the best of it and have the best of success. I wish you the best. You deserve it. Your music sounds awesome. And
well, thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Well, it's just the way it is. I mean.
Exactly, and this has been such an awesome interview. Very comfortable, very relaxed.
They should be that way. There's no reason to be stressed out over an interview,
Exactly.
So I'm glad that we were able to do this. And sometimes, like I said, one-on-one is so much easier and more relaxing. Let's say if I got with everybody in the band, I wouldn't know who was talking, at one particular time. And it might, but usually what happens when we have an interview with the entire band, people do start to say things, but there's like one person, and that'll probably be you, like I said, that does most of the talking and maybe includes, hey, so, you say to somebody else in the band, hey, what do you got to say about that or whatever? Or talking about gear, the guitar. You play guitar too, right?
Yep, sure do.
Would you like to talk about your guitar?
Sure. I always love talking about guitar. I've been playing since 2004, somewhere around there. I started out, like everyone else, I heard Metallica. I'm like, I want to do that. I picked up Master Puppets album and I wanted to study that album in and out. I'm sure like a lot of other people.
Right.
And from there, I discovered Iron Maiden, discovered Megadeth, and just wanted to emulate what I heard on guitar. And I've had a lot of different guitars over the years, but I found my home with Jackson. I feel like that is one type of guitar that just feels right.
That's very popular. A lot of people say the same thing.
It just works especially for thrash. It just feels right. And actually, everyone in the band plays Jackson. So
there you go. That's excellent.
Like an endorsement deal, but sadly don't think we're at that point yet.
You never know.
Yeah, never say never.
Right. One step at a time. You'll get there. You have the great sound there.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
But as you know, dealing in the underground and even the I wouldn't call it mainstream, but even the legends of thrash, let's say, I don't think they're making the kind of money that they were making back in the 80s, let's say.
No, 80s, that was like the prime time.
Yeah, the money isn't there with all the downloading as well. That's still going to go on. That'll never stop going on. Maybe they do buy it from the Bandcamp, but a lot of times they'll find it in another way or share it with their friends or whatever. So the money that you could possibly make sometimes is hurt by the way the world is. It's just, that's the fact. But I still wish you the best, and hopefully you'll get that label to work with you, that whatever label it may be outside of the one in Japan, but hopefully you get another label that is willing to work with you and you can make some money doing this. We're not going to get rich, as you said, right? But you can still, you take pride in what you do. It'll be a really good thing to be acknowledged for what you do.
It'd be just even have distribution handled and them covering like pressing and stuff. It definitely makes a huge difference, but we'll do what we have to in the meantime, just adapt to the way things are now. Like back in the 80s, like you could make so much off of record sales. Streaming sadly doesn't pay that much, but we'll just have to adapt.
And back then you had MTV that was playing the Headbangers Ball, let's say, so you got a lot of publicity, for nothing. But now I don't even know if MTV is more like reality shows, I think now. They're not really much about music anymore.
Yeah, it's Kardashians and
yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's just not. It's amazing how things change over time. Like you would think MTV would still be the best place to find videos from all around the world, but they're doing all these reality shows, and I guess whatever sells for they're making money with that, I guess.
I remember back in the 90s, like MTV was still playing music videos. I remember them playing Nirvana and
oh sure.
I think that was just a little after the grunge era. I was around 6 or 7, but still a lot of that stuff was so popular. And I remember putting it on in the basement thinking, whoa, this is wild. What is this?
Oh, right. Yeah. So many subgenres also, but you can give it a name. You can call it whatever you want, but as long as you love it, it doesn't matter what you call it.
Exactly. We'll just call it my favorite band.
All right, Tim. Thank you so much for the interview. How about we go crank up some more time with music off of Art of a Maniac?
That sounds great.
Let's crank it up loud.
All right.